Hello everybody, Pillars TCG here, and today I am bringing you a faction overview over the Dalis faction. This is D-A-L-I-S for water, not the city in Texas. Now, to begin with, Dalis is pretty different from the Azar faction, which I showed off a little while ago. Azar is a very aggro faction and fairly easy to play as, while Dalis, I believe, is personally a stronger faction, but is much harder to play as. So Dalis focuses on making its level 1 units in particular far stronger and using a whole group of them sort of like schools of fish coming together to fight stronger opponents. Speaking of schools of fish, here's an example of a level 1 unit art here done by Haza. School of Fish is a rare level 1 unit for Dalis. It's a basic pretty weak 200-200, but it gains plus 200/plus 200 for every fish unit on the field. Now this includes both your side and your opponent's side, so if there are any fish units such as other Dalis cards or even Flaming Fish of the Azar faction, this unit can get a pretty hefty boost if it's all... Well, when you first play it, it is a fish unit itself, so it'll gain 200-200. Then if you have 3 more with those 4 slots, it gets pretty strong. It'll be 1,000, 1,000. So, yeah, it gets pretty hefty. So next up, we have an example of some of the other sort of combos you can add in. So, another fish card you have here is Big Ol' Fish, art here done by Speed. A very basic 400-800 common Dalis unit. Decent defense, but it's not very strong, and as everyone knows, vanillas are generally not the best. However, this example of being able to boost your School of Fish, because this is a fish card. Now, a good extinction to note is in Pillars, there are 2 slots for the archetype. Down here, an archetype can be listed, as you will see shortly, and here in the name. Since both of these cards have fish in the name, it still counts, while if a unit had fish written down here, then it would also be a fish. That would be in this slot here as I show off Fisherman, who is a human unit, 600-200, decent power, not very good defense, but he is still a rare. Art here done by Speed, and I'd like to show off why he's a rare is his ability. While this unit is in play, your fish units may attack the turn they're played. So generally, there is a mechanic sort of like Summoning Sickness in Magic the Gathering within Pillars, and this card is going to negate it for fish units. So your School of Fish or your Big Ol' Fish or any other fish units that are played are going to be able to attack that same turn. So he's a very strong card. I've already encountered how strong he can be in playtests, both me using him and my opponents, but to balance how strong that ability is, there really aren't that many fish units in the game, and they are predominantly these level 1 units. Now, I'm going to show off one more level 1 unit for Dalis, and that is Twin-Headed Serpent. A common level 1 art here, also done by Speed at 800-400. Pretty decent stat line, and its effect is this unit deals half its damage first, then the rest with the opponent, meaning if this unit is blocked by a unit with 400 or less defense, it will be destroyed without Twin-Headed Serpent taking any damage. Now, if it is higher than that, then the other 400 is applied at the same time as the opponent, and if their power is higher than or equal to the 400 defense of Twin-Headed Serpent, it will be destroyed. So, it's pretty situational, but in those situations, it is fairly strong, such as it could take out a fisherman or a not too buffed School of Fish without taking any damage itself and being destroyed. Now, to round off sort of the basic units I'll be showing off here, here's Armored Whale, a vanilla unit of Dalis, level 3 uncommon, art by Ember Opal here, with 1200 power and 2000 defense. So the units in Dalis, even their level 3s, are generally going to be more defense focused. The offense of this faction definitely comes from those level 1 and potentially level 2 units, while the level 3s are more to try to stall factions such as Azar that are going to be constantly trying to pummel through you and just break your pillars relentlessly. So having cards like Armored Whale with that staggering 2000 defense, while its power isn't too high and it doesn't have any effect to boost you, it is still very useful. Now, let's get into the actual strategy here. So first I want to show off, let's start off with a pillar card, hence the game Pillars, with Pillar of Ice, a level 3 rare pillar art by Aether. You will probably know him from his game Aetherborn, nope, Astronomica, which is talked about some on the first episode of my Cardcast podcast. Check that out if you wish to. But basically this gives all level 1 Dalis units plus 600 defense, which is a staggering boost and makes them essentially undefeated in combat between level 1s. While this might not be too useful at a lot of times, there are cards such as Time Machine, a mercenary card, so it's not being featured here, but Time Machine lowers the levels of all units on the field. So a big strategy that has been used is lowering those levels so that suddenly your opponent's level 2s or 3s don't have the power to bust through your level 1s. So it is a very powerful pillar, really helps with the level 1s, which is of course the focus of this faction. Now a very strong tactic card, we're moving into those. Like Pillars, I'm only going to be showing off one tactic card here, and that is Revolution, art done by me. It is a common card, but it surely packs a punch. It's an ambush, meaning it can be played at any point during the game. Literally any point. Could be during the damage step even. Play this card, and it gives all level 1 units you control plus 400 power until the end of the turn. Note, that's all level 1 units, not all level 1 Dalis units. So if you are playing a multi-faction deck and are able to have units of other factions in, those level 1 units would get a boost from Revolution. Now, the 400 power boost is very substantial, especially combined with things like Time Machine. You'll be able to, in the damage step, eke out and destroy your opponent's units. And that's really where this faction starts to shine. Once you bust through your opponent's units, they're going to have to start to rebuild. But once your opponent starts rebuilding against Dalis, your level 1 units are, by the function of the deck, stronger than theirs are going to be. It is quite a strong strategy, and while it is harder to pull off than others, if it is pulled off, it is very hard to even lose a battle, or even lose a couple units. You are pretty set. Now, the last unit and last card I want to show off here is Morphling, art done by Speed yet again. It is a rare level 2 unit, and if you look at its stat line, it's pretty weak for a level 2. 1200 power and 1000 defense. It is not strong and will usually be destroyed in combat with other level 2 units, and definitely can't hold its own to level 3s. However, its effect makes it very, very strong in the Dalis faction, which is, this unit is treated as a level 1 unit, but may still level up. Meaning, you cannot just put a level 2 on it. It is still a level 2 unit, but you can still level it up to a level 3. So if you do need to play an Armored Whale to stall out some of your opponent's attacks until you can get your level 1 strategy working to reset the whole battlefield, then you have Morphling able to really help you out there. Especially because before you choose to level him up, he is treated as a level 1 unit, meaning that Revolution gives him that 400 power boost. So that'll be 1600 power, which is enough to destroy most level 3 units in combat. And again, with Revolution being an ambush card, you can play Revolution after you choose to block a weaker level 3 unit with Morphling. They would think they're fine. You can play a Revolution. The 400 power bonus is going to be applied to Morphling. Their unit is going to be destroyed. I've used this many times in playtesting. It is quite a nice strategy. And also, maybe it won't even be destroyed with that weaker defense stat due to Pillar of Ice. Suddenly, due to Pillar of Ice, you have a 1200, 1600 instead of a 1200, 1000 level 2 unit. Because again, gives all level 1 Dalis units plus 600 defense, and Morphling is a level 1 Dalis unit due to its effect. Morphling is an extremely fun card to play with. I am very happy with how it's been turning out in battles, and it just shapes very well with the whole strategy. I can definitely see this being a staple of the Dalis faction moving forward. Some of these other cards, for example the fish, that might be more of an archetype deck. We'll see how it goes, but I believe Revolution, Morphling, and potentially Pillar of Ice, though we'll see, because level 3 pillars are very impactful for the game. Maybe people want to, and they're hard to get out, so maybe they're going to want other kinds of cards to fill that slot. But definitely Morphling, Revolution, I believe, are going to be staples of this faction. Hope that everybody enjoyed watching. Leave a comment about what you think of this faction, whether or not you'd consider playing it, or why you wouldn't play this faction in Pillars. Let me know any sort of ideas for cards potentially you'd like to see. Most cards are already prepared and just have to be completely made and tested, but I am curious to see what everyone's thoughts are. So I hope everyone enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, I greatly appreciate it. Leave a like, and I'll see y'all in the next video.